with almost any type of mechanical equipment, at some point, service is going to be required. There is planned service, as we all know, like changing the oil in your car. And then there's unplanned, like having a bearing fail prematurely. The latter can be problematic, and in rare occasions, our equipment is certainly no different. A number of years ago, I recall a customer that experienced nuisance alarms from their PLC over a lengthy period of time, and we couldn't explain it, and neither could they. It would occur once and then not again for months. That made it very difficult to diagnose. So when it occurred again on a Saturday night, called the operator out to the plant to deal with the alarm. That customer called me first thing Sunday morning and said he needed a resolution. If we could help him, he'd sing our praises. So I rallied the troops on Monday morning, and we developed a plan to fix the problem once and for all. A few days later, we flew the site, replaced the PLC with a different manufacturer's model with the latest software, and the problem was solved. Today, that customer is an advocate for us.
There was a time where we had an older system that was, I believe, 10 years old. It was due for a mechanical refurbishment and a control system upgrade. The lead control engineer for Enviromix and I, we worked together as a team to install all this new equipment. When we finished, we gave them very extensive training on their new system. This upgrade ultimately allowed them to process their wastewater in ways that they never could before. Ultimately, the customer was very pleased with our service and their new system abilities.
It's come up a few times where contractors gotten down inside of a tank and we've discovered that there's unknown obstructions that nobody knew about. And our engineering team, we've had to react quickly and either redesign equipment and get it fabricated and sent to the job site quickly, or go back to the drawing board and figure out how we can go and modify what's already on site to go and make it work. And we've always done that very quickly and efficiently, and we've made it work.
Our engineering team's first class. So fortunately, I get to witness, great customer service on a regular basis. I think Will King, our VP of engineering, has done a tremendous job of instilling the importance of customer service across the team. So it happens across the board. And I would say the common theme that I observed when I witnessed the customer service delivered by our engineering team is they always put coming up with a solution as the priority over assessing who's to blame. So they get it done. And I would say a great example that comes to mind for me would be on one of our BioCycle D installations. We got it started up, and several weeks after startup, Sarah Elger, who is our Director of Product Innovation and Strategy, was working with the customer. They were struggling, and it came to be that they're actually putting like 2 times the amount of sludge to the digesters as it was designed for. And it would have been pretty easy to kind of divert the issue and say, hey, it's not our problem. It's clearly outside of spec, but that's not what she did. I mean, she continued to support them for several more weeks and got them to modify their methodology of operation. I think they went from parallel operation to in-series operation, and she got them to help them to get the system working. So not only did she deliver the great customer service, but it really demonstrated the resilience of the BioCycle D system for digesters.
Great customer service to me it's not necessarily what happens at the beginning or even at the turnover of a project. It's the follow through after a project is up and running and how much support is given. For me, I look at it as even on the control side of the business, when I'm selecting components that I want to include in my control system, I'm selecting components based on knowing that I'm going to get support on those components. And it's not just for me to get support, but also I know that once it goes out in the field, 5 years down the road, I'm still going to get the call if something goes wrong. And I want to be able to call somebody else if it's over my head in depth on, some detailed hardware or firmware issue that might have cropped up on this piece of hardware. So I try to create relationships with suppliers to make sure that I'm going to get the support that I need on the stuff that I'm designing in my system so that I can support our customers further down the road.
I would say at Enviromex, we get involved because we're a small company. Every project is important to us. We don't let anything, if things are not working or things not meeting customer expectations, you really can't afford, to be honest, for that to happen. And we have a lot of new technology, new ideas that are being researched. So there's a lot of focus on R&D. So for us, what we do is it's not about the sale of the equipment. It's more about the applications and the continued success beyond the sale. Because we're a small company, our success and reputation is very important to us. And we try to keep that going, even at installations that are, or plants that have our technologies for 4 or 5 years. We try to keep that same success. And a lot of our technologies actually are flexible enough to be changed if the plant treatment requirements have changed, which is a beautiful thing. Little tweaks from our side that could help the plant meet the new limits or new treatment requirements. So for us, customer service is not transactional. It's anybody that has our technologies, we tend to continue to touch on it during our visits and our travel.